Alright, this is episode 2. The lighting changed a little bit because it's roughly 10:30. We did not go yard selling, which is kind of sad, but we did go to Dollar General. So we got a stack of movies over here from Dollar General. The reviews of 3 of these, one of them, and then 2 of the other ones will be coming up in a little bit. First movie is Godzilla and Kong. For you, it's probably reversed, but this is Godzilla and King Kong, The New Empire. It's a pretty good movie. This one was about $5, I think. We got Puss in Boots and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It's both of them in here. If you open it up, there's the first one, and then there's the second. The Last Wish is a really good movie, and so is the first one, but The Last Wish is definitely better. Let me just fix this real quick. As you can see there, the top is a little bit off, so let me just put that back into place. This one was about $3 for both of these. Definitely a really good deal. Next one is also a really good deal. Megamind and Monsters vs. Aliens. Megamind is just an all-time classic, and I really like Monsters vs. Aliens. Here's what the inside looks like. There is Megamind, and then there's Monsters vs. Aliens. Sorry, I forgot what the name was for a second, and I can't really read it there. This one was also about $3. 3, not 30. Probably sounded like I said 30 there, but I don't know. For me, it did. Here's Batman, the Batman. They kind of messed up the case cover, if you can kind of see that. It looks like it was water damaged. I don't know. This one was about $5, which kind of sucks, but there's the disc in there. I've heard that this one was a bad movie by some people, and some people say it was a pretty good one. It was either this one or The Joker, but I went with Batman because I like Batman a little bit more, and I feel like I would probably need to watch the Batman before I watch the Joker. And the final one is Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. It has the Part 1 disc in there, and then has Part 2. I have never watched this movie, but I've heard this is one of the greatest Star Wars movies ever made, and I probably would believe that, but I can't watch it just yet. I have to get the first, second, and then I can watch the third, and then I have to go all the way up to the 9th, which I have over there, I'm pretty sure. Because I'm pretty sure the 9th is The Last Jedi. I'm not sure. Probably have to look at that later. The only thing I don't like is that this cover case is blue. Not blue. White. Sorry. And every other one is black. And that's not racist in any way. It's just it doesn't fit in well. As you can see there. Puss in Boots is on the bottom. But we can get over to those reviews right about now. Bye. Alright guys, here's my review of The Lion King. This was a very good adaptation, like a remake of the original. The graphics were just so beautiful. I can't even imagine making this from CGI. I can't imagine how long that took and how hard that was to do, but it just looked beautiful. Of course, the songs were always really good. This is probably one of the best musicals. And the story is just the classic Lion King story, which is just so perfect in almost every way. And I think that this is just such a good live-action remake. Even if they just use so many new live-action remakes now, I feel like this was just a very, very good one. So I would have to give this probably a 9 out of 10. The only thing that's really stopping it from being a 10 out of 10 is that this isn't technically an original film. If it was, then it would probably be a 10. But it is a remake, so that has to bring it down a little bit. But that still does not mean it's a bad movie at all. You should definitely just go watch this. The menu on it to get into the actual movie is just so good. It has a little preview in the top right. It has scene select, all that stuff. And it's just so perfect. Just such a good movie. 9 out of 10. Alright guys, next we have Doctor Strange. This is a really, really good movie. They just so good. This is my first time ever seeing it, And since I didn't know the story of it or anything, it actually really surprised me on how Doctor Strange got his powers and all that stuff. It's just such a good movie. The scenes where he's in, like, the astral plane and stuff is really trippy, though. That's just, like, whenever he first gets sent, I think it's the first time that he gets sent there. He, like, gets shot up into outer space and he touches that butterfly, and that's just such a good scene. I would probably have to give this movie a 7 out of 10. The only thing that is bringing it down just a little bit is those scenes that are really trippy, just kind of like iffy. You know, they kind of like hurt your eyes a little bit, so you don't want to see it, but just such a good movie. And also, spoilers for the end of it. In the end credits, I'm pretty sure that scene went to nothing, because I don't remember seeing anything about that, but I'm pretty sure that end credit scene just did nothing, and nothing ever happened with that, the way that he's, like, stealing people's magic. I don't think that ever got adapted into anything. But aside from that, this is just such a good movie. The story is just beautiful. It also is a little bit gross. Like, as in, since he was originally a surgeon, there is some blood and stuff. That's a little bit of a badder factor. I just kind of don't like seeing doctor stuff. Like, just medical, like, cutting people open and stuff. I just don't like to see that. It doesn't really show, like, them cutting somebody open, but it does show, like, the tissue and stuff that's all red and with, like, blood and stuff. That's the only reason why this is going down a little bit. But aside from that, this is just such a good movie. Alright, this is the movie that I just watched about 30 minutes ago. It's a really good movie, but it does have some bad factors. Spoilers for the entire movie. Just spoilers, because I will be talking about a lot. First thing I have to say is that near the end, whenever they're fighting that, ice guy, the ice, like, lizard thing, they run so goofy. And whenever Godzilla's fighting Kong and, like, destroying the pyramids and stuff, they run just so goofy. And it just really brought me out of the immersion there. Another thing, sometimes I just don't understand, like, they'll be, like, talking, like, the apes will be talking to each other and stuff, and I have no idea what they're doing. Like, I'm just not smart enough to put those pieces together sometimes. And also, something that's kind of a positive and also kind of a negative, King Kong is a lot like Kratos. I will just instantly say that. He carries around an axe, and he basically acts like Kratos, and he, like, has, like, his son. I mean, it's kind of his son, but it's not actually his son, which is a lot like Atreus, but, yeah, that's, like, a little bit of a kind of iffy thing there. The graphics on it were really beautiful, but it is also kind of hard to know what's happening sometimes, if you haven't watched the original 3, which I think I've watched them, but it was a long time ago, so I don't remember very much about it. But you don't have to watch those to watch this whole movie and understand it. You can get the base plot point from it. I think the movie's about 3 years old, but it's still a really good one, and I think I got this one for about $6. So if you find this for about $6, I would definitely recommend getting it. But another thing bad with it is that one of the main characters is deaf, so they don't talk, which is a little bit like, I'm not trying to be mean against deaf people at all, because they're still wonderful people, you know, but in a movie, it's not really good to incorporate that stuff, because then you just have one character that's just not talking the whole movie, and you have to have sign language. And I'm pretty sure the sign language that they're using is just completely wrong. It's not actually sign language. But that just could be me. I just also don't like reading the subtitles whenever I'm watching the movie. But that's fine. You know, that's only, like, a little bit of a bad thing. I think this movie's just really, really good, and you should probably go watch it yourself if you have it. So, I think I would give it, like I said, a 7 out of 10. It has its flaws, but it's also a pretty good movie. Alright guys, today was a very good day for the challenge. I wouldn't really call it a challenge, more of a journey. But, here is all the movies that we have now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and 12. We have 12 movies so far. I have reviewed 4 of them, which means that we have, I can't really include both the Star Wars ones because I can't watch those ones yet. But without those, we have 6 more movies to review, which those are Puss in Boots' Last Wish. Then we have Megamind and Monsters vs. Aliens. The Batman, which I am kind of excited to see this one because I've never seen it. Let's get rid of the Star Wars one. The Lego Movie 2. And then let's get rid of that one. So then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I almost didn't count it. One of the Puss in Boots movies. But I feel like today was a really good day, like I said, for that stuff. And we did go to One Yard Sale today, but we didn't find anything. DVD-wise, we found 2 VHSs, but they weren't a part of this challenge because I don't have a VHS player. If they were, then I would include them, and I would have to watch them. And I don't really know what I feel about watching VHSs very much, because my favorite thing to do is watch Blu-rays, because they just look a lot better than DVDs. But DVDs are always fine to watch, because they were before Blu-ray, and most movies that you're going to find at like a Dollar General or something for pretty cheap are going to be DVDs. But tomorrow, we should be able to go to at least 2 yard sales to pick up some DVDs. I'm really hoping on one of them, because one of them had about 3 to 5 really good movies to watch. At this point, I'm kind of worried, because I have a lot of movies to watch, but then I also have the entire week to watch them, so I'm going to get kind of bored throughout that week, most likely, and I'll probably have to rewatch a few. And whenever I rewatch them, I'm probably going to give a second rating of them. I might not. If it's like a newer movie that I've never watched before, I might, just because whenever you first watch a movie, you feel like really excited, and you're like, yeah, it was really good. And then whenever you watch it again, you're like, okay, here's the flaws of it. You see more critiquing it. So I might do that. Probably not, though, because I want to keep with that rating system. But hopefully you guys can comment some movies down below for me to try to find, because if you guys do that, then I will know, hey, I should try to find this movie, or hey, if I find this movie, I need to get it. And I will have a little list on my phone for that. So, see you guys most likely tomorrow. Goodbye.